It's the TBM Show with Spencer L. Jensen. Brought to you by the City Creek Mall, where Jesus would develop commercial real estate and high-end luxury condos.
Brothers and sisters, this is Spencer L. Jensen interviewing Jeff Ricks of Postmormon.org, an instrument of Satan who felt it wasn't enough to be an apostate, but that apostates need to apostatize better and more quickly. So he started Postmormon.org years ago. Jeff, why did you feel the need to assist the devil in this iniquitous endeavor, and have you repented yet?
Well, for one thing, I don't feel the need to repent. But let me address the first question. Why did I start it? For one reason or another, many people are resigning from the church. And that left them without the social network that they were used to in the church. And so I thought that Postmormon, this idea I had for Postmormon, would be a good way for former Mormons to connect, just for social reasons, not for doing anything wicked or evil, just to get together and become friends. And I don't think that's something that I should have to repent of. Do you?
Simple deduction, Jeff. One apostate plus another apostate, put them together in the proper conditions of free speech and expression, and what exactly do you think is going to happen? They're going to apostatize at an exponential rate.
Well, that could happen, yeah. I don't think that's former Mormons' fault. I think that's the church's fault. There's a reason people leave the church. So let's see, why don't we address that?
Well, why don't we, Jeff? If a person leaves an organization, you tell me, how can it be the organization's fault? The problem has to lie with the person leaving.
Well, if the organization's doing something wrong, let's take Enron, for instance. You know, the corporation Enron, they were doing things wrong, and people found out, and they had problems with it, and you know, it wasn't an organization they can leave, but they probably wanted to dump their stock when they found out what these Enron leaders were doing. So I would say, Spencer, is it okay if I call you Spencer?
Spencer, yes.
Okay, thank you. I would say that 99% of people who leave the church, the Mormon church, do so because they found that the church is less than honest. And that's the bottom line. That's why I left. In fact, I found out that the church's moral standard was lower than mine. Why should I stay with an organization when the organization's standard is lower than mine? They no longer benefit me.
Well, you can compare the one true religion to Enron all day long, but the fact is the analogy doesn't work because it's two different words that mean two completely different things. You know, it's the pyramid scheme is not perfect, and neither are the leaders, but the church is different, and that's pretty much what matters.
I see. Huh. That seems a little convoluted to me.
Are you aware of how much your website's results have pushed down all of the mommy blogs and search engine results that the Lord is paying to appear there?
Well, you know what? I understand the church is doing all kinds of SEO, you know, search engine optimization to change that. I haven't done any search engine optimization, and if that's what's happening, I think that's probably a reflection on how much the organization is needed, how much people like it, how much they use it, and it's a reflection on how the church is failing. They're not. You know, if the church is trying hard to come up in the search engines, and I'm not even trying at all, and we're staying there, that's not my fault. It's the church's fault.
Doesn't any organization have the right to advertise? You yourself ran a billboard promoting Post-Mormon at one point. So how does that make the one true church any different from those who rebel against it?
Because we ran a billboard? I don't follow you. Could you ask me that question again?
Long story short, I was spying on the ex-Mormon Reddit, and those apostates are about to run a billboard of their own, trying to send people to some website that they say is run by members of the LDS Church, pointing out facts and history and other things that make Quentin L. Cook go hiss on the night.
Okay.
Some of them might be wondering what your experience was running the billboard before, so I thought I would evoke that anecdotal evidence out of you in my typical probing manner.
I see. Okay. I'm being probed. Well, I'll just say we ran a lot of billboards, and we had just a simple message, postmormon.org, you are not alone, nothing offensive, nothing that church should be afraid of, nothing that should offend members. We were just trying to contact people and let them know that we were there. We were a social network. If they wanted to connect, they were free to, and you know what? We got great results. We didn't have a lot of money. We don't spend millions on PR like the church does, but we got great results. We got a lot of advertising in newspapers. New York Times did an article, a really nice article about us. I think one that most open-minded Mormons would even say, yeah, it's a pretty good, balanced article. And we really didn't have to try very hard. Just get the billboards up and see what happens. And I don't know if I answered your question, but that's been my experience with billboards. I hope the people who were attempting to get a billboard up, former Mormons who are attempting to get a billboard up now, I wish them luck, and I'd be happy to help them out or advise them on how we did it.
Well, apparently they've run into some kind of trouble. They attempted to put it up with a company called Rean, which turned them down from conservative values, I can only presume from the name. No doubt that will not stop their attempts, but it looks like the Lord has put them in their proper place for the time being.
I see. The Lord, huh? Well, I think they'll, you know what, it took me 2 years to get Reagan to put up our first billboard. And they had all kinds of concerns. We finally did. I think they'll find success too. They just have to be persistent. There's a lot of resistance. Sign companies are kind of afraid to put up former Mormon billboards because they're afraid they'll lose their Mormon customers in Utah. And I can understand that. I used to run a sign business years ago, so I understand it. But once they became assured that that wasn't going to happen, they put up our billboards. I need to talk to these people and let them know what the magic formula is. It's not a magic formula, basically. It's just understand what the church's concerns are, or what the sign company's concerns are, and then once you know that, then you can find a way past it.
Yeah, just tell the rep that he can work out his salvation with plenty of other things to fear and tremble about, like the coming apocalypse. They need to stock up. Survival goods.
Huh?
Get a crossbow. I mean, when's the last time you've sharpened yours?
Oh, geez. I don't even have a crossbow. Never have. I once had a gun. Never had any ammunition for it, though. I used the gun as a prop for paintings that I used to paint. But, yeah, I'm not into that, 2-year supply stuff, 1-year supply stuff. Stock up, hole up in the mountains. I'm not into that at all.
A gun without bullets. Sounds about as useful as a Lamanite without DNA evidence.
Yeah.
So useless we don't talk about them.
Well, let's talk about them. There is no DNA evidence. The evidence is not there to support the Mormons, the claims about the Book of Mormon, about Hebrew origins. It's just not there. Is it?
I don't know. I completely forgot the question I asked and swept it under the rug as soon as you started answering it.
Okay. Well, very slick. That was very slick. I've seen that technique used a lot.
What technique?
Forgetting the question. There it was again.
I'm sorry. I don't know what you're talking about, but ex-Mormons tend to brain damage. I mean, obviously you are in some way or you wouldn't have left. But I'm going to go ahead and wrap things up this time. I think we've gotten enough perspective from you on exactly why people should never stop clinging to the iron rod as if their very life depended on it. Because as soon as you let go, you're going to end up looking like Jeff with a headset on and stuff on the wall behind him and a sweater and a bunch of billboards and flames and everything that you see before you. This is photographic evidence. So, Jeff, if you're done being skewered...
Yeah, I think everything there you said is accurate, except I don't see any flames going on.
Thanks for coming on, Jeff. Talk to you again soon.
You've been listening to True Believing Mormons. The podcast is perfect. The people are not.